So
Now,
there's quite.
now, but when you're talking about India, I I also wanted to point out too that like there was the oh shit, you're still talking. I can't hear you.
Me?
Yeah, your mouth
Oh,
was moving and I couldn't. Was you saying something?
I had just finished talking. I think this feed
Uh huh.
is out of time. So you
Okay.
might see my lips moving after I finished saying something still.
Okay. Yeah, I see
Just
that.
just
That's weird as shit.
yeah.
I'm sitting
Yeah, so
there.
if you see my lips moving, and you don't hear me talking anymore, like give it a few minutes and we'll have like a pause just to make sure we're both done talking because
All
my
right.
lips might keep moving. I think this feed's out of time.
I'll just
Um,
I'll just concentrate more on your voice then instead of worrying about what your video saying. You know what I mean? So.
yeah, I mean I'm kind of going through that right now because I'm sitting here at the same time editing a video of me performing,
Oh
and I'm
wow.
trying to get my the motions of myself playing the guitar and singing in line with the recording I made. So I'm dealing with the same kind of thing that we're going through right now. Before this is done, I'll give you a sneak peek of it,
All right.
but we'll get to that later on.
So when we're talking about the hollowed Earth, we can talk about the catastrophe and how both sides of them sank beneath the surface. And I think right there is where we need to switch into Edgar Casey, and I'll have Robot do that documentary of what. Because he wants to do a documentary style, which I want to do both a mix of us talking with documentary styles. And I asked him if he wanted to do the script for Edgar Casey. And if we do the conversations and then go into Edgar Casey's documentary, that'd be perfect. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
And,
we could have the best of both worlds.
you know what I
I
mean?
mean, humans can be pretty cold and cruel as history is documented, but and we're mammalian, but
I think that would actually be a good conversation. You know what I mean? After we get through like Casey, we kind of discuss that because I think that would be a good way of like going into some of that stuff, talking about the two separate claims that are made about them. You know what I mean? Kind
yeah,
of
yeah.
kind of get more of a take on that. And I'm sure that with Robot, he's going to come out with just some completely opposite, different shit when it comes about the Atlanteans, because they're like his heroes, you know. The Atlanteans were all powerful and loving people and shit like that. So,
They're
but
really heroes of his.
yeah,
He
yeah,
thinks they were.
yeah,
I mean, from I don't know how I feel about them. But it'd be interesting to have like an archaeologist or something come on if we could find one that's actually traveled the world doing looking for evidence of Atlantis and Lemuria and some of that stuff. But I mean,
yeah,
finding somebody of that caliber,
yeah.
that'd probably be about tantamount to getting like David Icke or Alex Jones or uh, or Russell Brand to come on our show.
Yeah.
It's like that Jaffe guy. I think was that
Daffy.
Jaffe Ryder. He was
Don't even mention his name.
he thought he was gonna get David Icke to come on his show.
Yeah, yeah.
He
I
needs to
well,
choose a more realistic target. Like,
yeah, he was all right. Don't get me wrong. He was all right. It was his buddy that was on there that was the one that just made me chuckle because he's the one that really believed that they were going to get David Icke on his show. You know what I mean? So, like, when I turn around and I said what I said, freaking, he just threw a conniption. He's like, "Who you think you are?" And I'm like, dude, seriously. The guy fills up coliseums and he gets paid for every person sitting in a seat. You think he's really going to come on your show because you just contacted him with an email and said, "Hey, man, you think, he's going to want money?" And
yeah, and how many thousands of other... How many thousands...
Yeah.
Huh?
All those people get paid like that, yeah.
Yeah.
And how many thousands of other emails do you think he's gotten from people all over the world wanting him to come on? And
yeah.
I mean,
and like universities, they pay people to do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't just like get a hold of somebody.
He's kind of like how
he's got a manager and everything,
Oh yeah, he's got a whole management team that sifts through emails and finds out like who's gonna pay him X amount of money to come on their show and how many views they get and if it's really worth, time of the mighty David Icke to.
Yeah. See,
maybe if he was more realistic and tried to get Russell Brand or Alex Jones on there,
don't get me wrong, he's gotten some good people, but they weren't big names like that, you know what I mean? And that's the thing I do have to say about Jaffe, but it's just like people that are on his show are the ones who aren't realistic, and like my old partner Karma, she had a hard time with understanding that too, because she saw like Jaffe had like 1,500 subscribers, and she thought in her mind that he was a big YouTuber. And I tried my best to explain to her. I'm like, look, 1,500 subscribers is not a big freaking following. It's not a big following at all. Now you turn around, you contact them, they might actually send you an email back, but they're not. I mean, there's a good chance they're just not going to do it.
Yeah, I mean, they tend to go towards the bigger channels with millions of subs that they're going to get a huge viewership on when they go on to do it.
Right.
When you're at that level, we're down here below in the seedy underworld of YouTube content creators.
Okay, so we put in a half an hour of the actual conversation about the outline and everything. Now, if I hit pause, do you think you can pull up some information for yourself and go over some stuff just concerning the Agarians and getting a rough draft of what your take of them are? Take as long as you want when you want to talk about them too. So.
Okay. Where do you want me to start? Just
the Agarians and what kind of people do you see them as? Like for me, I found out that they were Asiatic and Nordic humans. One or the other. The first time I heard about it, I heard they were Asiatic. So, like, this Nordic stuff is new for me, so I haven't heard that before.
When I hear Nordic or Asiatic, I assume that as far as racial makeup goes, they were largely white and Asian.
Yeah.
I assume the Africans were pretty much out of that conflict. They were pretty much they stayed the way they were. They were untouched by it, I'm assuming. But I have no way of knowing for sure.
But,
I'm afraid of getting. When you hit pause, I'll try to get on and look maybe gloss over an article real quick or something.
All right. I mean, you don't have to do it. I mean, you've done some research. If you want to just wing it and just say off the top of your head what you've heard so far, it's cool. You don't have to have like notes or anything.
Yeah, I'll just wing it.
Okay.
So bear with me.
Okay. So let me pause this real quick, and
okay.
until you're done, then that's going to be just you speaking, okay? Because I can edit between them and afterwards and get it all down. So.
How long do you want me to talk for? Is there a certain time frame, or
just as much information as you can about the basic Agarians before you start talking about like the Hollow Earth, about the Agarians themselves. So.
Okay, just like their origins.
Yeah, origins basically. And like what you found out that they look like or appeared like in your findings and stuff like that. How tall they were, things of that nature. You know.
And then I can just tell you when I'm done.
Yeah, that's basically.
Okay.
I can edit it out. So let me go ahead and pause. Okay, so actually you're gonna go ahead and just swing it from this point.
Okay. So
Okay, so after this, just give it a couple of seconds after I'm done talking and start talking. So.
Okay.
Okay, so we've got your take of all the what you found out, and Austin, and now what I'm going to do is do my part, and later on what I'll do is I'll have Mr. Robot look at what me and you had to say in videos, and then, well, first actually I should probably just get him to say his story first. Because like if he starts hearing what we have to say, he'll start freaking wanting to go into our topic, you know. So I'll just let him say his story first, and then let him see our video, and then he can go off of what he wants to say. That way we'll have all three of us telling our stories separately, without any kind of influence. So, sound good?
Yeah, that works for me.
All right. So, I will give it a second, like we did with you, and then I'll say what I've learned so far from the about the Agarians or the Garcians. So.
And is there any sources that have like a map of all these caverns that span the globe, and like how they all interconnect and stuff?
That would actually be something that would be good for you to kind of mention, like whenever we do like your, I guess they call them rebuttals, like after, because I mentioned that, and then like now what we can do is have you bring it up on the video about like, well, you know, with these caverns, and then go on with what you were just saying. You know, that would actually be a good thing to put into the video. You know.
Yeah, it'd be interesting too. I wish me and Mom could pull it off, as to get Steven Wagner.
Oh God.
It's a kind of person. That's probably about as realistic as that one guy trying to get David Icke, though.
Yeah.
But I think Mom talked. Didn't you talk to him a long time ago, Mom?
He's not well known. I mean, he's got a couple books, but the books were based on I probably got some of my stories in those books. I was going to order them from Amazon. I need that one of them was not on there.
Hold on a minute. I got barking dogs.
They're your dogs? Or just some neighbor's dogs?
My dogs.
He's got a couple books, but like, they're not like, I mean, they're okay. They're on Amazon, but you know, anybody can write a book, and he's got stories. Like I said, I bet you some of my stories are in there because I gave him rights when I wrote some of the stories to him. They're true stories.
Now, the reason I mentioned possibly getting him on here is because I swear, like, years ago, you actually talked to him at one point, like you, but maybe not.